Coming up on Network Africa, at least 25 soldiers killed, 60 others missing in attacks by suspected jihadists on 2 military posts near Mali's border with Burkina Faso. President Muhammadu Buhari departs from Abuja for South Africa to meet with President Cyril Ramaphosa. Liberian President George Weah reiterates his reluctance to establish a war crimes court. Welcome again to the program. I am Amarachi Ubani. Network Africa begins in Mali, where the government says at least 25 soldiers have been killed, about 60 others still missing in attacks by suspected jihadists on 2 military posts near the border with Burkina Faso. As intense fighting continued, the government said it had also lost significant equipment following the attack. In response, Malian troops with air support have begun a joint operation with forces from Burkina Faso. Jihadist violence and ethnic rivalries have caused conflict in Mali since 2012. Mali is a part of a 5-nation anti-insurgency force operating in the Sahel, which includes Burkina Faso, Chad, Niger, and Mauritania. Back home, President Muhammadu Buhari has departed from Abuja, the nation's capital, today for South Africa. He will be meeting with President Cyril Ramaphosa for discussions on the recent near-strained relations between both countries. The two leaders are expected to discuss the welfare of Nigerians living in South Africa and also look towards common grounds for Nigerians to build harmonious relations with their hosts. The president will also hold a town hall meeting with Nigerians living in the country with a view to sharing and understanding their experiences and reassuring them of government's commitment to working for the protection of their lives and property. Both leaders will preside over the South Africa-Nigeria Binational Commission, during which a progress report will be presented and a joint communique signed. The meeting is coming less than 2 months after Nigerians and other foreign nationals were attacked in South Africa, forcing about 500 Nigerians to return home. The ministerial leg of the 9th session of the Nigeria Binational Commission has begun in Pretoria today. Event co-chaired by foreign ministers of both countries and relevant ministers discussing various areas of cooperation between the two countries kicked off. Nigeria currently has 32 agreements and about 5 pending agreements with South Africa, as well as a number of memoranda of understanding.
I'm encouraged to note that since the signing of the BNC agreement in 1999, we have been purposeful in pursuing tangible outcomes aimed at ensuring real change. Our interactions allow us to ensure monitoring and accountability through this BNC, and of course ensuring that all of us as cabinet members oversee the implementation of all our agreements. I am pleased to note that our 32 agreements and the various memoranda of understanding in a range of fields do have place of action in our governments.
We have so much to share and to learn from each other, and together, hand in hand, walking forward, we are absolutely certain that we will be able to achieve the goals that we have set for ourselves. A goal of real cooperation and promoting sustainable development in our two countries. So, Your Excellency, as we meet here for this binational commission, yes, it's a binational commission between our two countries, but at the same time, it's a meeting that is building blocks for Africa. and Africans. We always have to bear this in mind as we develop the cooperation between our two countries. That yes, we are cooperating, we are developing our economies, but at the same time that we have this responsibility also to be an engine of growth for our continent, and we should work together also with that in mind.
Liberia's President George Weah has reiterated his reluctance to establish a war crimes court, despite widespread calls for it, saying he did not see it as a priority. Speaking after his arrival from the UN General Assembly on Tuesday evening, Mr. Weah said he did not understand the need for a war crimes court, especially with the economic issues facing his country. The president's stance is a huge disappointment for human rights groups and others who had hoped that Mr. Weah, as someone who was not involved in the civil war, would champion the formation of a war crimes court to achieve justice for victims. Thousands of people were killed during the conflict between rebel groups and government forces. Mr. Weah is Liberia's second elected president since the end of the conflict. He took office in January last year after defeating opposition candidate Joseph Boakai in elections. Meanwhile, remember the fire that killed 27 children in a Quranic school in a township east of the capital, Monrovia? Well, we now understand why that fire occurred. Investigations say they were caused by electric shocks. Investigations were conducted by the Liberia National Fire Service, and the director, Alex Dixon, said they also found a motorcycle parked inside the building with gasoline in it. He, however, did not say if it had a role in the fire. Words of sympathy, financial and material assistance are still pouring in to console the bereaved families after the deadly incident. The Liberian government has promised to rebuild the school.